Anglers Extra.
Back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. Josh Schaefer, joined by manager Tom Holliday for today's manager show as the A's visit Eldridge Park in Orleans for the first time in 2018. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So 2 days ago, the best offensive performance of the season, and then yesterday, the one time that this team has been shut out all season long. What do you think was the big factor in the kind of drop-off in run production?
The little left-hander that they pitched had good stuff. He mixed his pitches. He threw strikes. He did everything that you want anybody to do. But, again, left-handers have given us some trouble, and our right-hand hitters are going to have to pick us up a little bit. And we matched him on the scoreboard with zeros, but he kind of put us to sleep. And it was one of those days where we didn't have a whole lot of energy to begin with. And we kind of played that way. And as you've seen, this team will take a night off every now and then, and I'm going to try to figure that out. I'm trying my darndest.
So how do you change that today?
Well, again, you're on the road against the same team, so you don't have much time to do a whole lot of rethinking. Bottom line is today, they're throwing a righty. We'll throw our lefties out there, and in hopes that sooner or later we'll settle into some sort of a lineup. But when you're carrying 16 position players, I'm going to try to keep all of them happy and keep all of them fresh and win at the same time.
Now, you brought up their starting pitcher last night. Yesterday, Davis Daniel and Hunter Gaddis did pretty much all you could ask from them. What did you see from them last night?
Well, I tell you what, for 8 innings, I watched the most dominant effort that we've had this year. In fact, I thought for a minute that we might even throw a no-hitter last night. I think their first hit came in the 8th or 7th or 8th, and it was just a humpback liner to center field. And I liked Tristan English when he came out. The guy hit a bolt off of him, but it was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And then he gets a ground ball to third, and if it's the first out, the runner can't go to third, so we'd have a runner at second and one out. And we might have played for a while, but when you throw it away, when you make the error at first and third, you're in trouble. And we then tried to go and maybe play a little percentage work, and we strike out the first left-hander. Maybe we get a double play ball, but it didn't happen, and they scored 3 on us. And like I said, we had a hard time finding energy, and quite frankly, we just chalked that one up.
Yesterday before the game, you spent quite a bit of time standing in left field talking with the manager for the Orleans Firebirds, Kelly Nicholson, and today he asked you to get coffee. What's your relationship with Kelly like?
Well, it's about 20 years of friendship, and Kelly was a guy that I talked to all the time, 2 or 3 times a year, and sadly had to explain to him that I wasn't in charge of placing players, but I would tell him who we had and let him go ahead and work on whoever was placing the players. And hadn't really met him in person, and saw him a couple times at the national convention, and when you're done, you're going, who was that guy? And it's like he's one of the nicest people, and a high school coach that comes over here all the way from the West Coast and does a great job with kids, and everybody likes Kelly, and he's got good players. Do you think you'll introduce him to Joe Mamas? We're going to do that. He said Saturday or Sunday, because he actually gets up and runs his camps at 8:15. So I told him 10:15 was the target time, and he said he couldn't make it. So it's going to happen on a Saturday, Sunday. But, we talk a little bit about the league too, and he asked me what I thought so far. And quite frankly, the talent level's awesome. I thought last night was maybe the second time this season that we've had a strike zone that was real, that never fluctuated, stayed the same, and pitchers had to pitch, and pitchers did on both sides. Because I think if you look at the batting average of the teams in this league, if kids could take the high fastball instead of trying to hit it, you'd have a lot more walks, and you would train pitchers to throw better strikes if you had a tighter strike zone. And the strike zones have been really, really big, so it's hard to hit when the strike zone's big and you're using wood and guys are throwing 90 to 95 mile an hour.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
You bet.
We'll now throw it back to Cooper Boardman as the Anglers Extra pregame show continues on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.